Hey everyone, Liam Nolan from CBR here. I am with the cast of Mayans MC at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. I've got with me JD Pardo, Clayton Cardenas, Danny Pino, and Sarah Bolger. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you.
I just want to start off with, Mayans is a show that can get really dark, right? And so the first thing I want to just ask is, do you guys have any kind of fun behind-the-scenes stories from production on season 4 specifically? JD, you go first.
It's funny because Danny brought this up and I had to remind myself, like, oh yeah, because I know we can be a very dark show, but you know, when the cameras aren't rolling and we're just like all getting ready, we're just throwing out jokes and making fun of each other, and I mean, in like a very harassing kind of way. We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, and you have to. So it's sort of our release, you know, and then they say, all right, you got to jump on. It's like, okay, lock right in. So.
Yeah, we definitely have some pranksters on set. I would say Michael Irby, who's part of our cast, and Vincent Rocco Vargas. I think they love. They do a really good job of keeping it light on set. You know, so like JD was saying, just echoing the same sentiment. It's like, you know, obviously it's a dark show and the writing is very dark, but as human beings, you have to find a way to balance that out 100%. And our cast does a great job of that. Yeah, 100%.
Danny, Sarah, do you want to add anything into that? Sarah.
Do you know what's interesting? Our crews are so much fun, and you know, they've been, for the most part, they've been with us since the beginning, and I feel like they make it very special. Like they giggle behind the monitor, and then you know when you spoof your lines or something like that, and it's just a very like happy environment for a very dark, intense content. We feel very fortunate, actually.
I think there was one moment this season that was uncommon in terms of it being funny. Elgin James, who's our showrunner and kind of you know, pseudo auteur god, who who runs the universe. It was his birthday, and when he showed up, the entire crew had essentially a mask of his face on, and just to see him looking out at like 100 people looking like him. And then those masks would show up in the oddest places for the rest of the season. Like spread out in drawers, right, all over
in the bathroom, in the stall.
All over with like a cigarette in its mouth and stuff. So yeah, that was the gift that kept on giving.
That's wonderful. Sarah, this season, Emily is kind of really separate from the rest of the casts. Can you talk to me a bit about kind of that experience of being separate and mostly communicating with people on phones, really?
It's so true. What an unusual season for Emily this year. For me as an actor, it felt really, it felt wonderful to do something very different with Emily, reducing her, minimalizing her, no makeup. You know, she felt like a very different human. But it felt also very isolating, which I think helped with character, but also made me miss people that I did wonderful scenes with. Like, you know, you and I usually get 2 scenes a season at the very least. And I mean, Clayton, I've never really, a few scenes.
I think
in
I saw you
passing.
leave one time.
And then, you know,
very impactful.
Danny is one of the best scene partners I could ask for. So, I mean, not the best husband, but
I'm not gonna argue.
but yes, it's a very different season for her, but one I've really enjoyed for all its isolation.
Cool. JD, I'm going to bounce the next question to you, which is, Easy goes to a really dark place in season 4, and I'm just wondering, what was the experience kind of having to take him so much to the dark side?
I was excited about it. You know, Elgin and I, we spent a lot of time talking about Easy's code, you know, and the code that he developed through prison. You know, when you're inside, you know, I did a lot of research, and a lot of guys would tell me, you know, you're not judged by what you wear. Everyone's wearing the same clothes. You don't have anything. All you have is your word and your conduct. So your word is that much more important. If you say you're going to do something, you have to do it. So it's a matter of conviction. And Easy finds himself in a place where war is imminent. And he sees that the only way for the club to survive is if it's handled a certain way and if they go a certain direction. And so he doesn't apologize for it. He just takes it. And so for me, it's just, I love the journey of the character. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this turn within 4 seasons. It's pretty remarkable. I mean, I can't even think of another character that has made that kind of turn. Maybe Walter White, Breaking Bad, you know? So it's exciting for me because I think it's just, people might have expected him to go a certain direction and then we just took it the other way.
Yeah. So like this brings me to Angel, who has also had to see Easy make this turn while he is himself going on his own journey and finding his own conviction. And can you kind of speak to a little of how Angel's feeling about seeing his brother make such a dark turn?
Sure, I think initially when he brought his brother into the club, it was more so kind of just, I think that it was more so he wanted to be with him and just be a part of something. I don't think, in my opinion, Angel didn't know that the trajectory of his character and how dark he would go. I knew he would be as some add value to the club, but not take over the club and lead it into the places that we're going now. You know, so I think seeing his brother, seeing his brother going down this path, it really makes my character look at himself in the mirror and like realize or think about, is this the type of life I want to live? Right? I see my brother going down this dark path. First of all, this is not what I wanted. Yeah. And second of all, like it really made me reflect on like, okay, wow, this is too dark. This isn't what I signed up for originally. So, in my opinion, it shows it's my character's bringing life the possibility of leaving the club, you know, maybe exiting Mayans. So I think hopefully we get another season and more seasons, so we'll see what happens with that. But with that being said, we'll see where that goes with that. I think for him, there's no coming back now, and he's so dark, I don't see him ever coming back to the light. Yeah, he's a bad dude. I don't trust him. Don't trust him.
Just got thrown into the bus by your on-screen brother.
I don't like him.
Danny, and I'm going to ask you, so you're playing Miguel, a very bad husband. But this season, Miguel has this kind of contradiction in him that I really love, where I feel like he's finally seen the effect of the violence that is so much a part of his life, and yet at the same time, he's still doing things that are pretty awful. Can you speak a bit to kind of Miguel and that contradiction that kind of lies at the heart of him by the end of season 4?
I mean, it's the duality that we've been playing with Miguel the entire time, right? It's his not really being able to commit to this walk of life, right? To what he has dedicated himself to through his father, right? His father basically started the cartel, the Galindo cartel, and Miguel inherited that. But Miguel is not his father, right? And as we've started to uncover, perhaps his father is not his father, right? Interesting. And so, you know, Miguel losing everything and coming to terms with being the caretaker of the cemetery at the convent, you know, that poetic turn is a way of him coming to terms with, you know, his responsibility for all the death he's caused. At the same time, he has this list of things to do, this sort of dark bucket list of people he has to go and settle things with. And I think he gets spurred to that, and it awakens his need to get even. And so that's what we saw going into episode 10. And we'll see what happens.
So we've got just time for maybe one more thing. Does anyone have just anything else they want to add about like the experience of doing Mayans and the show itself? Does anyone have any?
I think we're all very grateful. I think it's because everyone, you know, we're tailing off of Sons of Anarchy, but we're definitely much in our own lane, and we definitely respect our predecessors, but we are definitely trying to make ourselves known just being individuals as Mayans MC. And we love the fans, man. I'll say this, I love the interaction via social media, so we encourage that more and more, you know, interact with us, interact with the handles of the actors, interact with the handles of the show, you know, because we definitely hear them, we see them, and we respect what's being said about us.
Yeah, because JD, you interact a lot with people online, I've noticed. You always pop up in my feed, and it's like, man, he's always there with something. So, well, thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of San Diego Comic-Con 2022. This has been Liam Nolan with CBR, and you can watch Mayans MC on Hulu. So thank you so much.
Right on. Thank you, brother.